Welcome to BGL Weekly, everybody. This is going to be a show where we talk about what happened this week in the Beaver GeoGuessr League. This is my co-host DJ, and we are going to be talking about everything that happened in our beloved league. First of all, you might not know what that means, what the BGL League is. The Beaver GeoGuessr League is run within my Discord. It's very intense. We have 8 teams across the board, and they are all shooting for the championship. This is our 4th season now. So we're going to go over the Week 1 matchups and get into Week 2 matchups and talk about what's going on in the league. First of all, let's go over the matchups from last week. So the Wisconsin Westbounds took on the Pittsburgh Confluences, and with the Westbounds took the first game. These are two heavyweight powerhouses of teams, and they went together in the game of the week, first week. Kept it very close, but Wisconsin Westbounds consistent across the board. They took it by 5,000 points. Next, Green Bay Snow Squalls versus the Mile High Express. The Snow Squalls took this one. The East versus West matchup yet again goes to the East. Mile High Express, known as one of the better teams in the West and a possible championship contender. Green Bay put them to bed here. It's as clear as that. They had really good performances across the board. That team looks pretty scary right now. Moving on to the next one, the Bloomington Beltways faced the Minnesota Interchanges, and yet again the Beltways from the East took it from the West. This Beltway team is honestly screwed by the other talent in the league because they look very good. They have a lot of good players, and all it would take was a good performance from Bunny, and they could be one of the best teams in the league score-wise. The Interchanges look promising, but it might not be their year here. Sacramento Rail Runners took on the Colorado Turnpikes, and this turned into one of the worst matchups you'll ever see. The Turnpikes actually took a game. Nobody expected that. I think every single person had them predicted to lose all 5 games. So taking this first game is honestly more of a bad look for the Rail Runners than it is for the Turnpikes. So going over these matchups, what do you think of the Westbounds beating the Confluences? Are they the team to beat in the East, the Westbounds right now?
I think so. The Westbounds constantly are the team to beat in the BGL. You've seen it season 1 when they won the championship, and then last season as well, I believe they won the championship. So they are always the team to beat.
Yeah, it's difficult. I can't talk too much about myself, but it's, you put together a good roster every year, and I think it takes consistency, which is something that they have more than any other teams. But looking at your team, the Green Bay Snow Squalls, you looked pretty good as well, and you've been fighting from behind basically since the league started trying to get past these powerhouses in the East. Crazy Sparky put up an amazing performance out of nowhere. He was a middle-of-the-road player, but he put up 23,000 points, and he was the best in the league in Week 1. Is he actually that good? Is he an MVP candidate this year?
I hope so. I mean, I hope to have an MVP caliber team, honestly, with everybody on my team. But when I picked up Crazy, he just exploded out of nowhere, and I mean, he really does do practices every week. We do set out a mark to do practices, and he really does meet that quota.
Yeah, it's good to see. I wouldn't expect him to really be up at the top. Talking about the other MVP candidates in the league, I like Big Kai Mart, Kyle on the Mile High Express. I think he could really do it this year. He put up 24,000 points. My goodness, how in the world does that happen? He might be an MVP frontrunner, but his team takes a loss first week to yours. What do you think of Mile High Express right now?
I mean, they with the addition of Kmart, they really wanted to set the tone of they want to win a championship right now. But I fear with Mile High in the West, that really helps them out a lot. But I just don't really believe much of any team in the West, to be honest. I can be biased, but right
Mm-hmm.
now with Mile High being the best team in the West, that's not really saying much.
Yeah, it's difficult to trust for sure. There's a clear path to get to the championship, so I almost feel like it takes one win, for a lot of these teams. Mile High, they've got to get to the playoffs. They're going to find their way. So then all they need to do is win a semifinal against a kind of mid team in the West, and then they just got to win one week. And that's all it takes is 4 good performances, Kazi putting up one of his best performances, and that would be all you need. So next, getting into the power rankings. So we have both of our power rankings. Feel free to go first. Go for it.
So number 8, obviously I got Colorado. I mean they squeaked out a win this week, but that's not really saying much. Only getting 63,000 points. There's really nobody on their team that really sticks out. Number 7, this basically is just based off points for week 1. We can honestly go back into the past seasons and see their overall success, but I do believe Sacramento right now is number 7. But again, they're like really close to, being from number 7 to like number 4 or 3 in the league with just one win or one dominant week. Number 6, I have Pittsburgh. They just played a tough team this week. They play your team, I believe.
They played my team.
So they did play a really tough. Yeah, they did play a really tough team this week. After that, I have Minnesota, and then going down the list, I have Bloomington Beltways at 4. Number 3, I have Mile High Express. Again, with Casey, if Casey has a really good week and the rest of their team scores just about the same as they did this week, they are the team to beat in the West. Number 2, I have the Green Bay Snow Squalls. We always start out like really dominant in the beginning of the year, but we just can't finish at the end of the year. And then number 1, of course, is the Wisconsin Westbounds. This is 4 past seasons as well. They are the team to beat. They are constantly good at what they do. One bad week and they lose, but they can easily go 4-1 at the end of the season and be the team to beat. They are always championship contenders, and every single year I feel like if we did a favored to win the championship, the Westbounds would always be number 1.
I think it's interesting that you have the confidence so low. I do somewhat agree that there are some cracks forming in their depth, whereas at the start of last year or even the end of the year before when they did end up winning, across the board, all 4 of them were playing very, very good GeoGuessr. And I don't know that I really saw that, but I do still find them very scary. So my power rankings, I have number 8 is Colorado. Again, it's a rebuilding year. There's only so much they can do. Their ceiling is low. There's only so far they can fly. If they find a way into the playoffs by getting one more win, I don't really see it going much farther than that. After that, I have Sacramento. They really disappointed me, and I think that they are one team that has a very good opportunity to jump in the future. If they can start playing better throughout this year, they can definitely be a playoff team. After that, I have Minnesota, and I almost see them the same way as Sacramento, where they could have a good season. All it takes is a few good weeks in this league, and you're into the playoffs. Bloomington, after that, they're struck by the East. It's difficult with who they have to play, but all it takes is them getting hot, and they could be a lot higher. I have Mile High Express at number 4. I wish they could be higher because I want a good team to be in the West, but I still don't think they really compare to the Eastern teams. So after that, I have Green Bay at 3. Then I have Pittsburgh at 2. Pittsburgh, as I said, have some cracks, but they're still a very good team, and I have to put Wisconsin number 1, despite the bias that may be involved in that. So moving on to next week, we'll go over our matchups and give predictions. The first game, Wisconsin versus Colorado. Who do you got?
I got Wisconsin. There's no doubt about this. I have total faith in Wisconsin Westbounds to just completely obliterate the Turnpikes.
I think that I could not play, and I think we could still win that matchup. I'm not going to lie. We'll see how it goes. Green Bay versus Bloomington. What do you think?
It's going to be another hard-fought battle. I do believe in my team, and I feel like we can, if we do the same performance as we did last week, we can win the game. I just need more of what Savage can do, because I know he has so much potential, but last week was just a bad week for him.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would go with Green Bay in this one, but I will say that I think this one really sets the tone for the rest of the season. If Bloomington can take a win here, I see them as a contender. That's all they need to really. Now they've started 2-0. That's a big team. All they need to do is get one more win, and they could be into the playoffs there. After that, Mile High Express versus Minnesota. Do you think Minnesota could take it?
I don't think so. I do have the Mile High Express here, even though that they lost against Green Bay last week. They only lost by 2,000 and putting up 80,000 points in the change of map that we did this year should be really good for them. And if they pull out that the same performance as they did last week, they will win.
I'm taking the upset here. I got the interchanges. I think they're going to take it. They're going to have a really good week. I'm following my heart here. I decided this 5 seconds ago, but I got Minnesota in this matchup. And finally, we have Sacramento versus Pittsburgh. What do you think about that?
I'm taking Pittsburgh. Like this, Rail Runners are 7 of my power rankings for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And with their performance last week, I can see like these teams have bad weeks. Yes, they can bounce back and have a really good week, but I just think Pittsburgh is more of like a formed team than Sacramento. So I'm probably going to take Pittsburgh on this one.
I think this one could be a beatdown. Pittsburgh, I want them to show that they're still a championship contender and that they are going to go and get it. I think Sacramento will get a lot better. I think they just need to get off this first week, but I do believe in Pittsburgh this one pretty clearly. That's going to be it for our show. Do you have any more thoughts on this week in the BGL?
I feel like it's going to be an exciting week, honestly. I mean, teams like the Green Bay Snow Squalls and every team in the East, they kind of have to win every week if they want to have contention in the playoffs.
Yeah, with this 5-week format, I feel like it really is. Like every week feels like playoff GeoGuessr, if you will, because it really matters. Just winning one game, that could be the difference between getting in and not getting in. So thank you so much for being here. You'll probably see him a few different weeks. We'll have different guests, such as other owners in the league. But thank you all very much for watching. Looking forward to another good week of GeoGuessr.